In this lesson, I want to explore a little bit more about LinkedIn. By the end of this lesson, you'll understand the relevance of LinkedIn. And this is going to be important because as we progress in the upcoming sections, you're going to need to be able to rely on LinkedIn to do some research and investigation of the company, the manager, and the job you're looking to apply for and interview for. So it's important that we grasp LinkedIn before we need it. So let's talk about LinkedIn. For some of you, this will be a little bit obvious, but we're going to cover it anyway. So if you weren't raised the way I was and it was not instilled in you that it's not what you know, it's who you know, let me begin thumping that into your head right now. If you want to be an idealist and think that your own knowledge and skill set is going to be all you need to separate yourself from individuals out there that you're competing with for jobs, you're mistaken. Your next job is most likely to come from somebody you know rather than just because of your skill set. Now, granted, there are people out there who have such a unique skill set that they are in more demand, and as cycles go through, people who have beaten the curve on certain programming languages or technical expertise or just very unique skill sets that don't apply to everyday people, sure, it can be what you know. But for the millions and millions of the rest of us, we all have skill sets that, while we may be very good in certain aspects of them, there's no objective way to say who's the best accountant, who's the best office manager, who's the best any particular role that's out there. There are measurements you can take in certain ones of those, but even for programmers, if I take Java programmers and say who's the best Java programmer, we can probably name 20, 25, 30, 100 that are out on the internet that have established themselves as really, really great Java programmers. But we really haven't established who's the best. So what people will do, and as you'll find as we go through this course, the people that are hiring you are more times than not a little bit lazy about things, and they're looking for information to come to them rather than to go out and find it. I can tell you more of the jobs I've gotten came from who I knew rather than what I exactly knew. Now, I had to know the things. It wasn't just, well, I'm buddies with somebody and they're going to make me the CEO. That's not realistic. But based on if somebody's looking for an accountant, an IT person, the first thing that those companies are going to do is they're going to figure out who do we know already that we could reach out to pull them into the candidate pool. And that gives you a leg up by knowing that person. So I will stop and get off the soapbox now of thumping into your head that you need to know people, but it's a fact. You really are going to get most of your jobs from people you know rather than what specifically you know. They'll dig in and make sure you've got the aptitude to learn what's needed. That's going to be key in their interview process. But for you, the thing you can control is to know as many people as possible in order to embrace that. And the easy way to do that in social media today is LinkedIn. Now, for whatever reason, millennials are a little bit resistant, but anecdotally, my own experience with Gen Z has been that they are very resistant to LinkedIn. I don't know if it's because it's less flashy. I don't know if it's because it appears older. I don't know what the reason is that the younger groups are resisting LinkedIn, but this is the easiest way for you to network in a bigger level than just the people in your office or the people in your industry. It's easy to go and trade business cards if you still do that. A lot of business cards are going away. But it's easy to go meet people at trade shows and conventions and establish a network that way. But it's much easier to do it on LinkedIn where you can go really, literally globally. My LinkedIn contacts go global, and I have very rarely been outside the United States. Some people have complained that LinkedIn gets a little too political at times or a little too Facebooky. You can always vote with your unfollow tag. You can unfollow anybody on LinkedIn that's not following what you believe the rules to be for networking. Some people do use it in unique ways. I won't say right or wrong, but they use it in unique ways, and the people that embrace those unique ways, they'll continue to follow them. If it's not to your liking and to your taste, just unfollow them. It's that easy. But I encourage you, before you need it, embrace LinkedIn. It is the leader for networking that's on the market. There's been several competitors that have come up, but nobody's been able to replace LinkedIn as far as a professional networking social media outlet. So embrace LinkedIn before you need it. You don't need to post. You can literally just follow people, connect with people you know, and be on the lookout for what's going on. It may be the next job that you didn't even know you wanted comes available as somebody's going, hey, we're desperately looking for this person. You may have a connection that you know is looking for a job, and somebody else that's separated from them by more than one connection is looking for that talent set, and you can hook them together. Networking is a great way to not only for yourself, but to help your colleagues and companies connect. You may see something that you allow that connection to happen. But I encourage you, grow your network every day. Always be on LinkedIn every day and try to get something out of it that's beneficial and give something back. There are things you can post or comments you can make that will help people that are looking for help. People are using it more times than not as a professional outlet. They may have a problem that you know a solution to. Don't be afraid to insert yourself and say, this is what I would do in that situation, or this is what I've seen that works. It's a great way to continue to build your credibility on LinkedIn. So in conclusion, LinkedIn can be a powerful tool if you'll use it correctly. That means you have to embrace it. For those of you not embracing it, embrace it. I've seen older individuals like myself that are not embracing it until they need it. This comes across when the moment of need, this comes across as desperation. And people will shy away from the people who have never been on there, but all of a sudden they're like, hey, look at me. You don't want to be that person if you're using it consistently every day, posting when necessary, commenting when appropriate, and just observing what's going on with people you're connected to. That is the best way for you to just be an active member of the community that is LinkedIn. So your action item is make sure that your LinkedIn profile is up to date and accurate. A lot of people will use your LinkedIn profile as your resume. So you don't want any embellishments. You don't want any lies on your resume. Make sure it's accurate. Make sure your profile is documented and up to date. And I encourage you to get in the habit. Reach out to one new connection a week. Somebody you've met, somebody you've heard of, somebody you'd like to know. Reach out, try to connect with them on LinkedIn, and just start growing your network one by one.